Thank you, Madam Vice President, and thank you, everyone. In my 5 years serving this mandate, I really appreciate the large number of participants, and never have I seen such overwhelming consensus. Usually I come in the spirit of advocacy, pure passion, but I'm really inspired by the shared commitment I'm hearing today. However, there's always a however, isn't there? However, are you serious? Are you serious about international cooperation? Are you just performing? Are you just repeating the words sent to you by capital? Or are you serious? Because if you're not serious, I will be back here in 1 year and the world will be more violent and more hungry. And many more of your countries will be experiencing conflict. Hunger is the main cause of conflict, and conflict is the main cause of hunger. That is what's at stake, and you are all aware of this. Almost every single one of you have talked about international cooperation, and you ask me what is to be done, and I will tell you. And then it's your job to do something. Here's what is to be done. There are 2 conferences that you need to go to and put right to food on the agenda. There's the International Conference on Financing and Development in Sevilla, Spain, at the end of June and July. Go, put debt and the right to food on the agenda. Work together, have a shared agenda. In terms of regions or shared interests, work together. Go tell the international financial institutions what you want. When I tell you it is your obligation, that's actually authority. I'm giving you the language of power. You then go to the international financial institution and you tell them, this is my national food plan. This is my legal obligation. I have the authority to demand from you, World Bank, IMF, IFAD, whatever. You must do what I say as a country, because we all know, those of us from developing countries, for all too well, for decades, they tell us what to do, and it has never served our people. Never. We do not need more austerity measures. Some countries raise the issue of blended finance. That's too narrow. We can't rely on the private sector. Since when has the private sector financing helped the people? The problem is the private sector is profit-oriented, and they are stronger than the governance structures in many of our own countries. So if we have strong governance structures, then we can regulate the private sector. But then there's the language of de-risking. That means subsidizing the banks and the financial institutions. Why do we need to subsidize them? Go with a plan. Use the language of human rights. It's the language of power. Second opportunity is the Food System Summit +4 in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia at the end of July. Currently, the Food Systems Summit is a jumbled mess. It's because the right to food is not central. You cannot cooperate and coordinate at the Food Systems Summit process. This is by design. Pakistan asked me an excellent question. What are the obstacles? The obstacles are rich countries, corporations, and financial institutions do not want you to cooperate together. Because if you are divided, they benefit from project financing and all these financing schemes. And all they want to do is move capital. They don't care if you realize your right to food or not. They win either way. Go to the Food Systems Summit with a right to food plan in your hand, because human rights is a common language. If your national food plan uses a right to food framework, by definition, it is the common language that enables you to cooperate and coordinate with each other. Most of you talked about food security. This language and framework of food security and sustainability is why we're in this confused, jumbled mess. Please use the Human Rights Council to cooperate and coordinate. And you all mentioned conflict, and I'm happy to talk to you bilaterally more about that, and I've written a report. Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you, Madam Vice President.